Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hype, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, and welcome back to the Baseball Hit 2, and hopefully you like this video, and hit that subscribe button. As you know, if you don't know, I'm a big Seinfeld fan, and I thought this was kind of an interesting story to talk about. This is, there's a baseball player named Jason Alexander, and he pitched for the A's early in the season, and the Mets broadcasters goofed on his name, and there was somebody at the ballpark screaming "Serenity Now" while he was pitching. And obviously, Jason Alexander is the name of the actor who played George Costanza on Seinfeld. Now, I guess he's playing, pitching for the Houston Astros, and he pitched, I guess, at Yankee Stadium. And yucks began raining down from the Yankee broadcast. And as you know, the fictional George Costanza worked for the fictional New York Yankees, and he was an employee of George Steinbrenner, and they had a lot of great episodes, and actually had Steinbrenner on an episode, but they cut it out of one of the episodes, which is too bad. But they kind of had him working for the Yankees for a few years, and then of course he lost the job. He couldn't get fired. Then he got fired, and he was working for Taylor Chicken Farm or whatever. But Jason Alexander, the pitcher, was pitching, I guess, at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees had a very strange weekend, to be honest with you. They had Old Timers Day. They reinvited Craig Nettles, an old Yankee. He's probably the greatest third baseman in the history of the Yankees. And he doesn't have a monument at the Monument Park. That's very strange. One of the great all-time defensive third basemen in the history of the game. He's sort of forgotten about. Well, they invited him, and he went back there after being gone for many, many years. That's one of the things they set right. Aaron Boone is now the all-time leader for this year of getting thrown out of a game by an umpire. I think he's shooting for Bobby Cox's record, by the way. And now we have this whole thing with Costanza, George Costanza, being brought up in the broadcast. As you know, before we get into this, Paul O'Neill was on Seinfeld and played himself. Awful announcing. Yankee broadcast leaned into George Costanza jokes for Jason Alexander's scouting report. And it wasn't even John Voight that. You know, the thing is that the Yankees are so bad right now that they had to do this. Pitcher Jason Alexander took the mound for the Houston Astros for Sunday afternoon's series finale against the Yankees. And if you were expecting someone with that name pitching against the Yankees in the Bronx to inspire Seinfeld jokes, you were correct. Before New York came to the plate for the bottom of the first inning, Yankees play-by-play man clarified that the lineup was going to be facing Jason Alexander. No, not George Costanza, Jason Alexander. But after Kane noticed some of Alexander's stats on the season, he and analyst Paul O'Neill revealed a Costanza-esque scouting report for Alexander. I would mention Paul O'Neill hit two fictional home runs and a triple and an error, and he upset the little boy in the hospital. Kramer promised that he would hit 3 home runs in a game, and then he told him he had to catch a ball with his hat because Kramer needed to get this birthday card for George Costanza. Well, quote, well, you're talking about George Costanza, O'Neill said. It's not you, it's me. Undecided after the game yesterday, now it's Alexander pitching today. The C was angry. He shut out the Marlins on Monday for 6 innings. I guess the Marlins would be angry. And the worlds are colliding. Same name as the actor. Oh my God, these are terrible. Don't quit your day job, guys. Please. O'Neill then plugged the upcoming Seinfeld night, which will feature a George Costanza bobblehead. From there, Kay and O'Neill transitioned to talking about O'Neill's appearance in Seinfeld's Season 7 episode, The Wink. They have Seinfeld night at Brooklyn Cyclones, and they'll have like an Elaine off. Where people come in, they dance like a lane. They do that weird dance, and some of them are really good. I mean, it's a great impression. These are really bad. Here's some things. With Jason Alexander pitching for the Astros against the Yankees on Sunday and former Seinfeld guest star Paul O'Neill on Yes Commentary, the jokes practically wrote themselves. Let me read some of this stuff. Yeah, replied O'Neill. Actually, they must be paying them more. I'm talking about the residuals that O'Neill gets. I think I cracked 100 last time. Then a picture from the episode was shown of O'Neill talking to Michael Richards. Kramer. You know, Michael Richards' hair looks like mine used to look when I took my hat off in the middle of the game. You promised what? It's hard to hit a home run. Kay said, go on the scene. I know this is not funny the way I'm putting this. And then brought it in full circle, referencing Saturday's Old Timers game. I told you I wasn't a home run hitter. Well, yesterday in the Old Timers game, I know I'm not a home run hitter now. Kate did point out that O'Neill hit the ball during the game, which the former Yankees outfielder conceded was close enough. As far as the game goes, Alexander shut the Yankees out for 6 innings, wow, allowing only one hit in what was ultimately a 7-1 win of the Astros. So he was, there we say, master of his domain. This is just poorly written. It's not even funny. This is not even funny. Don't quit your day job, okay? You know, like I said, the Yankees had a very strange weekend. That again, they had Old Timers Day, which I didn't mention. Mariano Rivera blew out his Achilles tendon running. How stupid can you be? But this is also the same guy that blew out his ACL shagging flies in the outfield at Kansas City. In Kansas City, the year he was supposed to retire in 2012, and then he had to come back and play another year in 2013. Oh, it was great when the Mets beat him at Citi Field. They were like lauding him and giving him flowers before the game, and then the Mets beat him in that last game. It was great. Wright beat him. Daniel Murphy beat him. Lucas Duda, and within 7 pitches, the Mets won that game. That was an amazing finish. Mets owned him to a certain degree. Mets weren't like too intimidated by Mariano Rivera. And apparently, him playing, he should be running around at his stage now. Shouldn't be doing that. That guy should be in like bubble wrap. I never heard of a player hurting themselves like that. My goodness. Well, it's not a very amusing video, I gotta say. I thought it'd be a lot funnier. I thought this would be funnier, but what am I expecting? They're baseball announcers. They're not funny, and they're not Keith. But imagine Keith was not just didn't have a couple of lines. He was a big central part of the show. One episode, a 2-part episode, by the way. And no, I don't think anybody got him to. What's funny? There was I guess Keith moved to North Carolina, and there was this WFAN clown, Richard Neer. I guess he's like his neighbor, and they're friends. And people were writing to them saying, "Did you help him drive to the airport?" That's actually funnier than this stuff. But again, my humor is not translating the way I want it to. Well, you let me know what you think about this pretty crappy video. And of course, I'm just trying to get people to watch, make some money. And of course, try to change it up a little bit. We'll have more stuff here. It's been a very quiet weekend, other than the Yankees making fools of themselves and the Mets making fools of themselves. It's, you gotta laugh before you start picking yourselves up. Well, thank you for watching this crappy video. Of course, please subscribe, and I'll see you later.